There are some places you plan, and then there are some places you dream about long before you even know where they are on the map. Growing up, I was fascinated by the stories like Arabian Nights, hidden cities, ancient bazaars, blue domes glowing under the sun, caravan routes stretching into the horizon, traders, storytellers, musicians, magic. It was a world that existed somewhere between history and imagination. But then life happened, and I forgot about that magical world. Then one day, while planning the Central Asia trip, I saw the blue domed pictures of Uzbekistan, and I knew I was going there. Suddenly, it didn't feel like I was just traveling to another country. But did Uzbekistan actually feel as magical as I had imagined all those years ago? Well, there is only one way to find out. Come, join me as we travel from Almaty to Uzbekistan and let's discover it together. Welcome to the Uzbekistan series. We could see snow over here in the morning, but now it is cloudy. So let me zoom in a little. Now probably you can see it better. I think that is where the TV tower is also situated. Right now the peaks are hidden behind the clouds, but if you look carefully on this side, at the higher reaches you can still spot patches of snow. And it rained throughout the night and it's still drizzling a bit, you can see on the right. That's why maybe snowfall happened up over there. And with this beautiful view comes our last morning in Almaty. We have spent almost an incredible week over here, and honestly, Kazakhstan has been such a pleasant surprise. If you haven't watched my Kazakhstan series yet, do check it out. I have shared everything from the itineraries and budgets to plenty of travel tips. But now it's time for a brand new adventure, and we are going to our next country, which is Uzbekistan. But before leaving, there's always one thing we try to do. This is my first Airbnb stay, but I wanted to leave it exactly the way we found it. So last night and again today morning, we kind of vacuumed the floor, cleaned everything up, made sure the apartment was neat before checking out. I genuinely feel that being a good guest is just as important as having a good host. So now I'm going into the kitchen. Breakfast today is also a simple one. We have some leftover rice, dal, a little bit of chicken from last night. So instead of just wasting that perfectly good food, we are planning to finish that before heading out to the airport. And I'm just going to just warm up the food now. We will have all this leftover food. This is going to be kind of a brunch before we head out to the airport. And there's one more little tradition that I try to follow. So wherever we travel, we like leaving behind small tokens of appreciation for our hosts. And this time it's a handcrafted candle from India with a small thank you note. It's a very tiny gesture, but one that says thank you for making us feel at home. All right. So everything is packed, apartment is clean. We are going to take the trash out and now we are ready to go. It's 8:23 in the morning. Our flight is around 11 a.m. and the airport is about half an hour journey from this place. So we are just waiting for the lift to come. And I have arranged the trash. So these are my trash. I'm going to take it out before we leave the apartment. So hopefully we kept everything neat and clean. And later on, our host actually messaged us and said thank you because she found the apartment so neat and clean. So it felt really good. So this is the last time we are going down in this lift. Alright, we are finally out now. The first thing left to do is throw the trash away. The garbage bin is right here. As you have probably seen in my earlier Almaty videos, all the waste goes into the same bin here. There's no separate disposal for wet and dry waste like India. So now that's done. We will walk towards the main road and book our cab from here. And that's one thing I absolutely loved about Almaty. You don't really need to plan ahead. Just reach the roadside, book a cab, and within 3 or 4 minutes, it's right in front of you. In this entire week that we have spent here, not once did we have a driver who refused a ride, and the whole system is incredibly smooth, very efficient, and super affordable. And before coming to Kazakhstan, one of my biggest doubt was how easy it would be to get around. And it turns out transport here is probably one of the easiest thing I have experienced while traveling. As tourists, we simply pay in cash. Locals can use the card as well, but either way, the entire process is pretty hassle free. Right now, the only challenge is this stretch of broken road. Pulling our luggage over these uneven stones wasn't exactly fun. And this is the corner. This is what has become part of our daily routine. Almost every morning, we would stand here, book a cab, and head off to a new adventure somewhere in Almaty. But today, it feels a little different. Today, the familiar pickup point is taking us somewhere new. And we are about to say goodbye to Kazakhstan and heading to Uzbekistan. We are a little sad to leave, but incredibly excited for what's waiting on the other side of our adventure. Did you hear that? Jimmy, Jimmy, Aja, Aja. The song was playing throughout our drive to the airport. And this is something really interesting about Central Asia. Most people think that Shah Rukh Khan is the most popular Bollywood actor across the world, but surprisingly, in Central Asia, it's Mithun Chakraborty. And I have heard a lot from other travelers that, especially in Uzbekistan, locals often play Jimmy Jimmy the moment they realize you are from India. It's their own little way of showing affection. I honestly wasn't expecting it to happen to us in Kazakhstan itself. And the moment the song started playing, we could not stop smiling. It felt strangely familiar, and yes, as Indians, it made us feel a little proud too. Now, while we are on the way to the airport, let me share a few tips if you are planning a trip to Uzbekistan. If you have around 2 weeks, I would highly recommend combining Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan in one itinerary, just like we did. The two countries are neighbors, the connectivity is excellent, they together give you two completely different flavors of Central Asia, plus, who doesn't like an extra passport stamp? Now, coming to the journey between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So, there are two popular options. The first is the overnight train. That is what most travelers and vloggers choose because it's the most economical option, and from what I've heard, quite an experience in itself. We, however, decided to fly. The reason was simple, we didn't have a lot of time and we wanted to make the most of every single day of this trip. The flight takes only about a couple of hours, whereas the train would have taken the entire night. So for us, paying a little extra was worth saving that time. Our ticket cost was around 11,000 per person. That does sound a little expensive, but that's because I booked during the peak travel season and very close to our travel dates. If you book a few months in advance, especially the morning flights, you will often find fares starting from around 6,500, which is actually comparable to many domestic flights within India. And there are quite a few airlines operating on this route, but the main non-stop options are Air Astana, Uzbekistan Airways and Centrum Air. I had chosen Air Astana for two reasons. First, it's a well-established airline and it has consistently good reviews. And the second reason is I could book it directly through Make My Trip using my regular Indian debit card. I didn't have to worry about an international payment gateway or using a Forex card, so the entire booking process was very straightforward. One small tip while booking, Air Astana offers different fare categories. The basic fare includes only 8 kg of cabin baggage, whereas the classic fare includes 123 kg check-in bag along with 8 kg cabin allowance. Since we were traveling with luggage, the classic fare made much more sense. But in my case, I actually booked the Economy Plus, which is a level up, because it offered free date change and cancellation. And as you might have known, that we flew at a time where there was a lot of uncertainty due to the India-Pakistan border situation. There was a war going on at the border, so I wanted the flexibility to change my plans if needed. Another useful tip is that if you book through Make My Trip, you generally won't be able to choose your seat or meal during the booking process. So once your booking is confirmed, use the PNR to log into Air Astana website or app and create your account. From that point onwards, you can manage your reservation, select seat, pre-order meals if available, and complete your web check-in. And you will also earn Air Astana loyalty points for that flight. The web check-in usually opens between 24 to 36 hours before the departure, and you will receive an email reminder on your registered email address. As for airport reporting time, I would recommend reaching about 2 hours or 1.5 hours before the departure. Even though you are flying to another country, the process at Almaty Airport is pretty smooth. In fact, we reached just about an hour before our flight and we still had absolutely no issues. Now, let's quickly also talk about the Uzbekistan visa because I know this is one of the most common questions Indians have. The good news is that the entire process is online. You don't need to visit the embassy. You simply apply for an e-visa and once it is approved, it gets delivered to your email. Processing would usually take around 2 to 3 working days, but remember that's working days. Weekends and public holidays are not counted, so don't leave it till the last minute. And my suggestion would be to apply at least 10 to 15 days before your travel date. That gives you a comfortable buffer in case there are any delays or holidays. The official e-visa fee for a single entry tourist visa is 20 USD with higher fees for double entry and multiple entry visas. I've already made a step-by-step video showing the complete application process from filling out the form to uploading the documents and paying the visa fee. If you're planning a trip to Uzbekistan, I have linked that video above. Do watch it before applying because it will save you a lot of time and help you avoid common mistakes. One important tip is if you're planning the same itinerary as us, that is Kazakhstan first and then Uzbekistan, make sure your Uzbekistan e-visa is already approved before you leave India. And the reason is simple. Even though Kazakhstan may not require a visa for your trip, the airline staff in Delhi will want to see that you are eligible to enter your next destination, which in this case is Uzbekistan. So if your Uzbekistan visa hasn't been approved yet, they may ask you to show your proof that you will be returning to India from Kazakhstan instead. Without either a valid Uzbekistan visa or proof of onward travel back to India, you could face issues while boarding your flight from Delhi. So my advice is simple. Apply for your Uzbekistan e-visa well in advance and keep the approved copy with you even before you start your journey. That way your trip will be completely hassle-free. There are still quite a few things I want to share before you plan your trip to Uzbekistan. Things like currency, connectivity, budgeting, and a few other things which will make your journey much easier. But we will talk about those as the journey unfolds. For now, we have reached the Almaty International Airport. You can see over there. And this is the same airport where our Kazakhstan adventure began almost a week ago. And today it marks the beginning of a new chapter. So our cab is now entering the airport premises and it will drop us right outside the departure terminal, after which we will complete the check-ins. And of course, I'll also take you through the entire flying experience from Almaty to Tashkent. So if you are planning to take the flight from Almaty to Tashkent like us, you will know exactly what to expect. Our cab dropped us right outside Terminal 2, which is for the international departures. And you can see the entrance on the left. So Terminal 1 is up ahead, but for our Air Astana flight to Tashkent, this is where we need to be. And I don't see much of a crowd over here. It's a weekend, but still there's hardly any crowd. And if you look down there, if you notice there, that's exactly where we had arrived almost a few days ago when we first landed in Almaty and we picked up our cab into the city. Funny how quickly a place starts feeling familiar. I can see the gate up ahead, so let's just go in. One thing that immediately caught my attention is the airport security. Unlike India, where there's usually a security check and identity verification right at the entrance, there wasn't any here. We just simply walked straight inside the terminal, that too international terminal. The airport itself is looking so big. Just look at this. But still I would say it is very less crowded. I had expected it to be really crowded considering it's an international terminal. This is the counter for some other airlines. I need to find the Air Astana check-in counter. Looks like we could have entered through this entrance as well. But we actually walked all the way to the other entrance before coming in. So that was a little extra walk, but that's okay. And just look at some of these cafes over here. They look so inviting. If we had a little more time before our flight, I think we would have checked these out. So finally we have found the Air Astana counter. So first is the business class. This is not our queue. And that is the economy queue. We'll go right in. So the process should be straightforward, just like any other airport. We are going to collect our boarding passes here, drop our check-in luggage, and since we are flying into another country, they will also verify our passport and the Uzbekistan visas before issuing the boarding pass. Yes, sir. The visa is on the next page. Visa is on the next page. Where is security and immigration? Thank you. Chalo. That was pretty smooth. They simply checked our passport and visas and issued the boarding passes. And it was just in a couple of minutes it was done. So our baggage was well within the allowance too. Mine was 15.6 kg and mom's was almost the same. So we have good amount of buffer because we are planning to do some shopping in Uzbekistan, so that is good. Right now it's around 9 a.m. and we have almost 1.5 hour before the boarding starts. So instead of waiting here, we decided to complete the security and immigration first. That way we will have enough time on our hand to relax inside the departure area. I think the entrance is over there and looks like we have to scan our boarding passes first before we can head in. We have now reached the immigration area. This is where the security screening and immigration formalities will take place. There are a few people ahead of us, so I do see a small queue over here. And I'll have to switch off the camera here since filming isn't permitted inside the immigration area. So I will see you after the immigration. And both of us are through now. Both security and immigration were completed without any hassle. The entire process was quick and surprisingly smooth. We didn't face any questions or delays, and before we knew it, we are now in the security area. So we need to complete our security now. Security is done and we are finally inside the departure area. So our boarding gate number is 204. Honestly, when I saw the gate number 204 on the boarding pass, I was really surprised. I did not expect this airport to be this big that it would have 200 gates. But thankfully, it's not a long walk at all. Gates 203, 204 and 205 are right there. So we don't have to rush. It's 9:08 a.m. right now and we will probably move towards the boarding gate around 9:30. আমাদের কয় টাকা আছে সেটা তো বললে না, তাহলে তো সেই হিসাবে তো আমাদের এখন হিসাব কিতাব করতে হবে. We still had some Kazakh currency left, so we wanted to spend it at the airport before we left for Uzbekistan. And I was just jokingly telling my mom to tell how much amount we have because based on that only we can decide what to buy.
5, 6, 7, 8 একদম এক্সাক্ট।
তো তার মানে আমরা 8,000 এর শপিং করতে পারি এখন। চলো। We still have some time before boarding, so we decided to do what every traveler loves doing at the airport, basically wander around the duty-free shops. So let's see what's available, and if we find anything interesting, then we will buy it. As expected, all the prices in the duty-free shops were displayed in euros rather than Kazakh tenge. So if you are using a Forex card, the amount simply gets converted automatically when you are making the payment. The duty free itself is very similar to what you would find at major international airports. All the popular luxury brands are here. But honestly, we weren't planning to do any major shopping. Firstly, we only wanted to finish the remaining tenge we had. And secondly, we still had an entire country left to explore and shop in. So adding more luggage at this stage really didn't make much sense. There are quite a few cafes and restaurants as well. And I must say the airport has a very modern and elegant vibe. If you have a layover here, it's actually a pleasant place to spend some time. Before exploring further though, we decided to locate our boarding gate first. And thankfully it's just a short walk away as I told before. The terminal is surprisingly quiet, maybe because it's still early or maybe we had simply reached well before the boarding. I'm really liking the vibe over here in this airport. Just look at these restaurants or coffee shacks. You would say the red and white and yellow combinations are just popping out and standing out. So now we are just walking around and we came across these shops There's this souvenir shop that you see over here. It's selling some very unique stuff. I can see some dolls. The scarves looks really good. And these are, I think, woolen slippers. I had seen them in Almaty also. And lots of local handicrafts. They are really looking beautiful. But as you would expect at an airport, the prices are definitely on the higher side. And then we just kept walking and we located this small shop that you see on the right. Um, so it's a knickknack shop, and I could spot some chocolates here. And then I spotted this assorted chocolate box. What I loved was not just for the chocolate, but the packaging itself. The lid is having a beautiful illustration of Almaty's iconic landmarks, and it feels like a souvenir in itself. So immediately, I'm very attracted to this box, and the best part is the price is at 7,000 tenge, which is perfect within our remaining budget. So in the end, this is what we picked: a box of those lemon flavored tartlets that you see. It's for 900 tenge, and along with the chocolate box featuring Almaty's iconic landmark. Our total bill came to 7,900 tenge, leaving us with just 100 tenge. I decided to keep that coin as a little souvenir from Almaty. So mission accomplished. We have used up our remaining tenge, and the remaining time we are now spending exploring the rest of the airport. We are now going down to see if there is anything interesting over there. There was nothing interesting at the ground floor, so we again came back to our original floor. But let me show you something interesting. So, usually at any airport or malls, you would get those regular water fountains where drinking is easy, but filling a bottle can be quite inconvenient. Here, it was completely touch free. Just look at this, how my mom is filling the bottle. You simply hold your bottle under the sensor and it would automatically start filling. The moment you move the bottle away, the water stops. So it's so simple and hygienic and really convenient. The water is super chilled, which felt incredibly refreshing. So it was really good. Finally, it's time to board. Thank you. This is the business class, and we are walking towards the economy class. So the layout looks pretty much similar, or the basically the aesthetics looks pretty much similar to the flight that we took from Delhi to Almaty. Very nice and clean and beautiful aircraft. We have settled down in our seats, and they have given us complimentary earphones so you can watch movies or listen to music. Uh, since it's an international route, every seat comes with its own infotainment screen. So outside, it's bright and beautiful day. It looks like Uzbekistan is also going to have a sunny, beautiful weather. And finally, we are taking off for a brand new country. See you in Uzbekistan. We just got some snacks. So here's a bottle of water, which I'm really happy to see because our Delhi Almaty flight water wasn't served unless we requested. So this is good. Along with that, I can see there's a fresh sub sandwich, and for dessert, oh, this is Kazakhstan iconic Rahat chocolate, the same one we had picked up from the stores as gifts, and great. So we have got some more chocolates. The sandwich bread was really fresh, and everything tasted quite good. And now, if you look outside the window, you can see snow-capped peaks, which are most likely part of the Tien Shan mountain range, which stretches across much of Central Asia. And now, as we are beginning our descent towards Tashkent, these mountains make for a very spectacular final view. the same situation as in our country. Everyone stood up the moment the flight is stopped taxiing. So you can see a queue. Thank you. We are finally in Uzbekistan, and now we are just outside the airport. My first feeling is that this airport isn't very large. The first thing that we are seeing after entering is the passport control area. There's also a separate lane for the transit passengers. The overall process was very smooth. The officer simply checked our passport and visa and stamped our passport. So we are officially in Uzbekistan now. We are now inside the airport. The arrival area is not very large. In fact, I can see the exit from here. So while waiting for our luggage, I decided we have to do one important thing first, that is getting some money exchange. So there are a few money exchange counters here, and interestingly, most of them were offering the very similar exchange rates. We exchanged 100 US dollars, which was enough to get us started. And if you prefer not to carry cash, there are ATMs available as well where you can withdraw local currency using your international debit or forex card. After a short wait, our luggage has now arrived without any issues. Now, one question is why exchange cash immediately at the airport? First, because we need to buy a SIM card, it's a new country. And second, if you're planning to use taxi services like Yandex Go, it's always a good idea to have some cash. Although in our case, we actually didn't have to pay for a cab. I'll tell you why in just a moment. Now, here's the fun fact. The moment you land in Uzbekistan, you are officially a millionaire. Just look at the denominations on the screen. You will find notes like 2 lakhs Som, and even everyday expenses are often quoted in tens or hundreds of thousands. It feels unreal, really. To give you some perspective, 2 million or 2 lakhs Som is only about 1500 to 1600 rupees. So don't let those zeros scare you. Honestly, for the first day, every time someone quoted a price, we were really unsure whether it is cheap or expensive. It took a day for us to get a hang of the money. I'm buying a Ucell SIM, which is giving me 44 GB of data for 7 days and costing me 55,000 Som, which is roughly 436 Indian rupees.
Yesterday it was your birthday.
Oh, yes. Oh, birthday you asked. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Wish you the best, all of the best. Happy.
Thank you. I have always heard that Uzbeks are very warm and welcoming towards Indians, especially, and I experienced it immediately. Can you see my name on that counter? Because I had booked a hotel that offers complimentary airport pickup or drop, and we decided to use the pickup instead of booking a cab. Honestly, after landing in a completely new country, having someone pick you up is such a relief. It was one of the reasons I didn't mind paying a little extra for this hotel. And this place is also located 5 to 10 minutes both from the airport and the railway station, which was perfect for our itinerary. So the hotel asked to come to this counter, and we simply gave our name. They informed the driver, and he will be here within a few minutes. Our driver is here, and we are following him to the car. So I would suggest that if your hotel offers an airport transfer, definitely pick such a hotel. Otherwise, if you don't have that option, then go for Yandex Go. It's the safest and most reliable way to avoid any kind of taxi scams the moment you land in Uzbekistan. So you saw me buying a new Uzbek SIM card, but I didn't have to create a new Yandex account. If you have watched my Kazakhstan series, you would know that I had signed into Yandex using my Gmail ID instead of my phone number because it was not working. So everything carried over seamlessly. I just updated my new phone number for driver calls, and that was it. I would definitely recommend setting it up this way. It makes using Yandex across different countries completely hassle-free. And tomorrow morning we will have to catch the Afrosiab high-speed train. So that is why, I had booked this hotel, which is very close by the station and the airport. But that's a story for the next episode. Right now we have reached our car, and it looks pretty nice. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Welcome to Tashkent.
Thank you. The first impression of Tashkent, I am really liking it already. At least around the airport, the city looks incredibly green. Just like Almaty, I can see plenty of trees, parks, and wide roads. The only difference I noticed immediately was the weather. Compared to Almaty, Tashkent feels a little bit warmer. And I must say, the hotel has sent a really nice car for the pickup. It's clean, comfortable, and they even gave us complimentary bottle of water. And with that, I think it's time to end episode 1 because it's getting too long. We have finally made it from Almaty to Tashkent. In the next episode, I'll take you inside our hotel and then we will head out for our very first local meal at one of Tashkent's highly rated restaurants and then spend a magical evening exploring Magic City, one of Central Asia's biggest and most unique theme parks. So if you don't want to miss any of it, stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and subscribe. There are many more exciting episodes from Uzbekistan and rest of Central Asia coming your way. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.